Welcome to Live for Ranch. I'm Doug.
And I'm Rebecca. And today we are back out in the garden. It feels absolutely downright magical out here. It's about 90, 92 degrees and it feels absolutely glorious. And we have a really awesome, fun garden DIY project lined up for y'all that we wanted to share with you guys. We're going to be making a 15 by 4 teepee trellis, and I originally wanted to use bamboo, but I didn't have enough bamboo stakes. I have quite a few, but not enough. And typically for this type of trellising system, most folks uses cattle panel trellises, and it's a tunnel and you walk through it. But I didn't have 4 cattle panels, and that's how many I would need. And at $25, $30 a pop, and you know, just with the lumber and everything, that just really adds up. And so I wanted to come up with something a little bit different. That's where the idea of bamboo came in. But then, of course, you know, bamboo, I didn't have enough. So anyway, my brilliant husband was like, I have an idea. We have some salvaged 2x4s that we saved. Why don't I just rip them down and show you what I can do? And I was like, okay. So anyway, I'm gonna quit talking. I'm gonna shut up now so we can get back down to the lower part of the garden and start assembling it, and so we can get this party started. Okay guys, so here we are. This is the space that it's going to be, and you can see us starting to, you can kind of see the materials there. Doug will go into depth about what everything is and show you guys. Okay.
Alright, so what I did was I went ahead and I had some 2x4s laying around. They were a little over 6 feet long, and all I did was I roped them down 3/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch. So what I did was I ran it through long ways, so you get 5 out of 1 2x4, and then I had an inch and a half by 3/4, and then I just went ahead and cut it in half again, and it made these little strips 3/4 by 3/4.
So that makes 10 out of 1 2x4.
Yep. And I had them at 6 feet, a little over 6 feet. I think they're like 6'4" or something like that. And yeah, about 6'4". And all I did was I ripped them all down. It's going 15 feet, and Rebecca wanted to come in a foot on both sides, so I only needed 13 of these. And so I needed 23 sticks altogether. And all I did is to make all I did was on all of them I measured down 4 inches
For the pivot point.
Yep, 4 inches to a pivot point, and I took my brad nail and I shot it through so it can have its own pivot. So they're all the same measurement all the way down. So when we put them together, they'll be all at the same height. Now I do have to adjust, you know, the bottom, you know, but this part is all going to be the same. And then I have the same pieces for the long part. I just nailed them together because I didn't have 15 feet long, 14. So I just nailed the 3 pieces together and then put that together. And then on the base, the garden bed, we have cedar pickets. These are 6 feet. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off the decorative end right here and make it straight, butt them all up, and then come back with the lap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to butt them up together and get my 15 feet for the garden bed. The excess I have cut off is going to be to split the pieces together. So I'm going to use them as a, so when I butt them together, I'm going to use a scab with leftover fence pickets that I cut off, and I'm just going to scab them together so they're flush on the outside and I'll have a little piece on the inside. It's just the easiest way. And you don't have to use pickets, you can use 2x4s, any materials you have. It doesn't have to be pickets, it can be anything as long as you can get them to butt up nice and neat together. Cars.
Yeah.
So these are not leftovers. We actually bought these a while back and we just never used them yet. They were like $3 a pop from Lowe's, and we just bought a whole bunch of them just in case we did need something for something, and well, we got something to make the beds out of. So let's get, I took my speed square and I just right off the, right where the 45s are, just made a mark, and I'm just going to cut that off. And I did the same thing to the other board, and I'll cut them, make some scraps, scab it together, and nail it. So right now I'm going to go ahead and cut it. I got my 3 pickets, and all I'm doing is measuring out my 15 feet and marking it. I haven't nailed them together yet. This board right here is going to be my scabs. I'm going to cut so I can piece the 2 pieces in the middle.
So what you doing now, babe? Those are for the scabs,
yep.
right?
This is my excess piece. It's 33 inches long and like a ½ inch.
And how big are each of the scab pieces?
So all I did was I just split it in 3. These 11 inches.
Okay. Sweet. Marking now, babe?
So I am just splitting the board in half. So 11 inches. So I have it centered. So I can get them nice and square. Right now I'm just bending the nails over. I'm going to break them off later because they do stick out a little bit. So, there we go, we got 15 foot, one side. Now I gotta do this just one more time. And then we'll cut our 4-foot sections. And then on the 4-foot sections in the corners, I have these little logs left over. So when I build our logs beds, this is what leftovers I had. I'm just gonna put these in our corners so we can have a nice corner, nice something sturdy that it can be nailed to.
It'll be sturdier once it's put together.
So I went ahead and cut the other side and I assembled it. The only difference is I flip-flopped them so the seams were not in the same spot. So when we do put story on there, they're not going to have weak spots on both sides. So I do have a seam here, no seam here. Seam, no seam. So they're opposites of each other. So it'll be less stress on the garden bed. So on the sides, same thing again. I'm just going to cut them 4 foot and then put them on the sides and mount them to our little blocks. Got little blocks, and our scab's going to go on the inside, and we're just going to flush it up and put it in.
That's the air compressor being all noisy. There you go, that's one side.
Yeah, so this is one side right here. And staple it on, and I'll come back and put more staples in, stuff like that. Right now this is just to hold it in place so we can get everything set, and then I'll come back and actually put more staples in to make it more sturdy. So we're gonna be putting these on 1 foot on center. So we're gonna be coming in a foot. All right. So this is 15 feet. So we need to come in the first foot, and we're gonna mark a foot all the way down. So when we put our TP trellises on, we can put them on at the foot mark. So this is my tarp piece. As you can see, I nailed 3 of them together, and I went ahead and did the same thing like I did on the bed. I marked every foot, so I'll be having one at the end and then every foot, so they can keep the same distance. So I got them marked every foot. All right, so we're gonna set it up on the first mark, and we're gonna take our pot piece and we're gonna sit it at the end. And then I'll go to the other end, put the other one up, nail it, come back and then nail these. And then we'll set all the other ones in. I'm already brad nailing them in.
We enlisted the help of our son because the phone kept overheating on the tripod when I was trying to help, so.
You can do it either way. You don't have to use brad nails. You can use finish screws on the really small torque bits. Just pre-drill, and you can use those also. This is just what I have on handy. So there's other ways to mount them. You don't have to use brad nails. All right, so we added some pieces here. So I added these end pieces. So just to make it sturdy. I have one on the opposite side. It just helps with
It's down there.
the wobbling, you know, shaking so it doesn't break or fall over.
So it's more solid.
And we also added extra support on top. We got the one that's in between, and we got 2 on the sides. So it'll help with the sturdiness. But I can push on it and it bounces back.
Babe, the bracing is the same size as the TP,
Everything,
right?
everything on here is all 3/4 by 3/4.
Just so they know.
So.
Alright guys, so the bed is about finished for the most part. We don't have enough cardboard to like lay on the bot to cover the bottom and do all that fun stuff with before we fill it with the dirt, and we are currently out of usable compost and soil, so until we can go get a truckload of that, I'm not going to be able to fill the bed. I was saying before, I'm not going to fill the bed today because I don't have enough cardboard, and I don't have any current usable compost and topsoil to make a mix to fill it. So once I get the cardboard in and the soil and the bed filled, I'll plant it. But to be perfectly honest, it probably won't get planted with actual usable crops until spring. I do think I might put some cover crops in it this winter. We'll just see kind of how that goes. But by the time we get it filled and all that fun stuff, I don't know if there'll be enough days to our first freeze. Right now we're about 7, 8, anywhere from 7 to 9 weeks out from our first frost. It comes anywhere from like late October all the way up to December. Right now it is mid-September, so it'll just depend on when the first frost is. I might go ahead and try to, if I can find some like quick maturing beans or peas, I might try to put them in there depending on when I can get the cardboard and the bed filled, but it's not a huge priority, so don't look for it until spring most likely. But anyway guys, until next time, I hope you have a beautiful, fantastic day.